Welcome to the 2025 World Series preview, sponsored and brought to you by When Sports Met Sarcasm. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you are sitting back at home trying to figure out who the next Ben Zobrist, maybe Steve Pearce, maybe even a Jeremy Pena is going to be. So we don't got much time to waste. We're going to hop into this preview right now. So let's get started. All right. We've got a pretty serious thing going on here with this World Series because we have what's called a sweep in the LCS with the opposite side, a game 7 do or die play. So what we got here is history going to repeat itself? We're going to find out because it seems like for some reason rest is a disadvantage. And the reason why rest is disadvantage is because it's baseball. You want to keep playing and staying in that same routine, keeping that same groove. Now, we're also going to look at some World Series MVP odds. And the reason why we're going to look into World Series MVP odds is because we went through the historical data to try to figure out if we can find anything. And yes, Freddie Freeman is on this team, and he did win it last year, and he's looking to be the first person ever to go back-to-back. But there's also someone on the other side named George Springer who's already won one before. I mean, he's sitting around 8-1. Maybe he's something that's kind of interesting. We'll dive into the odds, into the players, and give you basically a historical look at who we came up with. So let's move on to these layoffs. As you can see here, 2012, Giants, 7-game series. Dominated the Tigers. 2007, Red Sox went 7 with the Cleveland Don't Call Me Indians Guardians. Not sure why that says Yankees. They went 7. And the Rockies, they swept the D-backs. And the Red Sox, even though they were favored, they pounded. 2006, Cardinals, same thing with the Tigers. Tigers pulled off a sweep against the A's and were big favorites. Cardinals basically pulled off a 7-game series against the Mets. Cardinals went on to win. Now, there is one big glaring disadvantage here that's going against this theory is the Dodgers got a full pitching staff. Now, there's caveats to everything. And one of the main caveats we're going to look at here is Blake Snell looks like Babe Ruth on the mound. But I'm going to tell you what, for some reason, even though it's Toronto, in the AL East, somewhere where he has pitched before, his home and away splits are just astronomically different. And unfortunately for Dodgers fans, this one comes on the road. So let's dive into the third overlay here. All right, game 1. Total obvious play. And the reason is you're playing on history here. Now, the problem is you have Trey Macho Man Will Savage pitching, the rookie for the Blue Jays in game 1 against Blake Snell, who is a Cy Young Award winner. Now, for everyone who believes in AI, if you do, one quick Google search on AI today told me that the Blue Jays are going to win in 6 games. So why are we even playing the series? I mean, obviously. So if you believe in AI, Toronto minus 1.5 games will get you $3.50 to 1. And this is another misnomer. So once again, game 1, we're going to play the Rook. We're going to play against Snell. It's just a numbers play. It's a history play. He's on the road play. Now, the rookie, he's been thrown to the fire, but I mean, he's been thrown to the fire all year. What's the difference now? And he's the Macho Man, you savage, so yeah. So one thing I want everyone to pay attention to, Max Muncy. Now, the pundits are going to tell you that this is a good series for Max Muncy, and the reason being, Toronto got a lot of right-handed pitching. Not going to throw a lot of southpaws against them. South Jersey, South Bronx, Southpaw. You're not going to see a lot of that. Now, the problem I have with Max Muncy is last year's World Series, there was a better chance that he helped his team by just not bringing a baseball bat up to his at-bats. 0 for 16 with 10 strikeouts. Say it again. 0 for 16 with 10 strikeouts. Game 1. Over under half a hit, laying 46 cents. Just one thing I want everyone to look at. Now, real quickly, we're going to go to Rosalind to not pay the bills with a fake ad read. And then we're going to hop into some odd shopping for the World Series MVP odds.
Did you know you were in the wrong and just couldn't figure out how to apologize to someone? You're in luck. The John Cena Apology app has over 20 different types of apologies in over 30 different languages. Mandarin Apology John Cena is the most popular, but we have John Cena, apologizing to everyone, in English, Italian, Spanish and of course numerous Chinese dialects. If you are sorry and need to apologize, don't look further than the John Cena Apology app.
Sorry about that. All right, let's go odd shopping here. 2025 World Series MVP odds. As you can see at the top of the leaderboard is Shohei Ohtani. And whoever would bet plus 140 on him, good for you. The problem for Ohtani is, if we want to break this down real quick, he has set the bar so freaking high, this guy, that not only has he set the bar so high, they have one of his stats, I'm not sure if it's DraftKings or if it's Caesars here, that when he pitches, they have a prop bet that is 10 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 20-1. I don't know. I guess he's a total freak of nature. He set the bar so high that what if he has 8 strikeouts and 1 home run? Are they going to say he stunk? I mean, he's just a total pass. And one thing I'll show you on the next graphic is the pitchers have basically dominated the World Series MVP award before 2004. And I say 2004, that's the only reason because that's when the MVP betting started, where you could bet on it in 2004 when Manny Ramirez took home the crown. So let's move on to the next one, Vlad Guerrero Jr. here. He's sitting at $5. He's the most obvious person probably if the Blue Jays end up pulling it off because he's the one with the hot bat. And if he doesn't perform well, I don't see how the Jays win. But at $5, when they're sitting at $2 when we showed you before, and if the Blue Jays lose the first game, they're going to probably move to a $3.50, $4 underdog. And what's the point of having 5-1 on someone and then the Blue Jays come back and win and you're all happy and then they pick George Springer? Not worth it. George Springer, as we said earlier, looking for his second MVP award. Also, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's looking for be the first person ever to go back-to-back to win the World Series MVP award. Sitting at about 10-1. Late action on him. He's down to about 8-1 in a lot of books, 7 or 8-1 in a lot of books. He does have outstanding numbers on the World Series stage. I want to say he's maybe even homered 6 of the last 7 World Series games. And he will face a lot of right-handed pitching, as we said earlier with Max Muncy, which is helpful for Freddie Freeman, obviously, because he's proven that on this stage that's no issue for him. It's just that the odds aren't there. The chances he has the exact same series as he does. I'm going to show you in a graphic coming up how unbelievably godly the guy was. He was like Barry Bonds for like basically 5 games. So we'll move down to Mookie Betts. Mookie doesn't really. The problem with everyone that I'll show you in the next graphic too, sorry for keep saying that, is we're going to look at the stats of what wins the award, and Mookie just doesn't match up with it. Let's move on to Teoscar Hernandez, somebody who does. And the reason being is he's got the home run stats. He's probably been the best hitter for the Dodgers so far this postseason. The Dodger bats have been quiet. They've been real quiet. They've been cold too. So Teoscar Hernandez is someone I feel like is very interesting. What is that, Elmo? Elmo, they can't hear you. Hold on one second. Bring Elmo in here. What's that, Elmo? Elmo loves Oscar. I know, Elmo, but we're talking about Teoscar Hernandez here, actually. It's not Oscar, your friend over there. Do you know Teoscar Hernandez? Elmo don't know Teoscar. No, Teoscar Hernandez played for the Toronto Blue Jays, and now he plays for the LA Dodgers. You almost have the same shirt on for both of them. Do you think Teoscar Hernandez has a chance to win the MVP? Emma don't think so. Well, thanks for the confidence there, Elmo. Can we put you back? We'll bring you back later. Well, Elmo don't think we got a chance. So let's move on here. We already got, like we said, Will Smith the catcher. We're not playing anyone Blue Jays like. And Max Muncy down at the bottom, who went 0 for 16 with 10 strikeouts. World Series MVP award winners. The reason why I want to show you this is because I highlighted the pitchers. And the pitchers who have won aren't going to reflect anything that this pitching staff resembles. Strasburg, ace, no one else. Madison Bumgarner, ace, even hit, no one else. Cole Hamels, Phillies, ace, nobody else. The Dodgers have a bunch of aces. They got Sasaki in the bullpen. They got 4 aces. There's no possible way that even if it goes 7 games and Snell pitches twice, it's not like they're going to give it to Snell because he would have to be Hercules to be able to pull off this award. Because there's just night and day differences between these starting staffs and the rotations than there is between these 3 pitchers who won it. The pitchers are a no play. What, Pete? All right, I'll tell him. Pete just wants to let you know on this graphic in 1975, he won the World Series MVP award for the Reds. Did I get that right, Pete? What's that? And he also says that in 1980 for the Phillies, he should have won, but Mike Schmidt? He said? Mike Schmidt won it. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for chiming in. So if we look here, Freddie Freeman won it last year, Corey Seager, the rookie Pena, Jorge Soler. And I'm going to show you a graphic real quick just to show you. But you can see there's some big odds you got in some of these plays. Steve Pearce. Yeah, everyone had Steve Pearce. Of course you did. Even Pablo Sandoval with the Giants. Edgar Renteria was a huge price. He might have been a rookie. He was like 30-something to 1. I was trying to look at maybe some other large prices that were in here. But Jorge Soler was a decent price. Jeremy Pena was a decent price. But let me move on to the last graphic here to show you. All right, here we go. Teoscar. Like we said, probably one of their hottest hitters right now going into the postseason. Also played for the Blue Jays. Comfortable at the plate in Toronto. Comfortable at the plate in LA. Previous 4 winners. Freeman, Seager, Pena, Soler. They've basically replicated the same stats. You're going to need to hit home runs. You're going to need to have a high OPS. It doesn't look like the average mattered for Seager because he had a 1.137 OPS, just like Freeman. So once these numbers are probably out, the odds are drastically going to change and you're going to be too late to the party. But I don't see why not Teoscar Hernandez shouldn't be involved in the conversation in front of some other people that are in front of him. Like we already said, he's got a revenge angle going here. They traded him because they didn't want to re-sign him because they knew that he was going to ask for more money. So they got rid of him. They traded him to Seattle. So at least he has a revenge angle going. He's been swinging a hot bat. He can hit for power. He's someone that can hit these OPS numbers if he gets hot. And if you search around for Teoscar, 12 to 1 is like the lowest. That's the worst price I've seen. I've seen him up to 24 to 1 on certain sites. So you're going to want to shop for him. Don't take anything less before game 1. Anything less than like 18 to 1 or something on Teoscar Hernandez. So that's going to wrap up the preview. Remember, layoffs are real, people. And if you don't think so, watch the splits on Blake Snell tonight. Home, away, layoff. We're going to find out right now if these layoffs are real because this Dodgers team has a totally different rotation and they're stacked from 1 to 4. So it is a totally different scenario, but the layoff is still 100% real. That's the most intriguing part you want to find out. Because going forward, if this Dodgers team struggles with the layoff, do you see any other team in the future that won't struggle with the layoff? So that wraps it up. We're going to send it to the last of the World Series preview video. Stay tuned. After the first couple of games, we'll do a preview of it, update to see what's going on. Thank you for tuning in. Sportsbet Sarcasm.
Thank you for tuning in to When Sports Met Sarcasm, the media that not only informs but entertains. Bye now.